Welcome to All About You, All About Me. Today we decided to have the whole group join together because we want to talk about a very, very important topic, and that is generational habits. We can go many, many directions on what it would be, but I think from my standpoint, we can, I'm going to do wealth, generational wealth, our belief system, how it affects our children, how our children are affected, and they kind of continue that same belief system onto their children. We were recently reading What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, and before that, we were reading about with other chapters, and it's funny, like it always comes out. And personally, as I think about it, yes, I truly believe that what we teach our children sometimes is not a good thing. Like not saving money, so
Right,
we
right.
believe that, oh yeah, we need to make money, we need to work to make money. But that has changed for me. I now understand and believe that work is the worst way to make money. And why do I say that? Because a lot of times we hate our job. And we teach that to our children. They have to go to work regardless whether they like their job or not. You gotta make money. And so we have created a generational habit with our children, whether or not liking their job, just going out there and making whatever it takes to make money. And sometimes that is not the best way to go. So with that, I will open it to you ladies, and we can talk a little bit about generational habits.
Speaking on that, it's like a thought occurred to me. Then you have the people that want to break that cycle. Like the people that say, oh, when I was growing up, we didn't have enough food. And then so they work extra hard to make sure their children always have maybe even more than enough. Okay? So that, but that's a conscientious thought.
Yes.
They're not following the pattern. It's them deciding that no, it's gonna change because change is necessary. What came to my mind was, I come from a very large family, and we started in Mexico, and then my father brought us here for a better life. And my brothers, when they talk about the old times. It's like, we're sitting there eating, and there's always so much food in our table. And they talk about, where when we lived in Mexico, sometimes it's like they each had their, like if my mom cooked a chicken, they each had their parts. It's like, you get this, you get that, and I was like, oh, I don't remember that. They're like, well, you were smaller. And one of the things that I think that they have in their head is that their children are never going to have to pick apart because they're going to always have everything they need in that sense. So it takes a conscientious mind, you making the decision to say that's not going to continue.
Right.
But a lot of people just keep it going. They repeat it. And like you said, work at whatever job will give them money, the benefits they need, to continue.
And to continue. Unhappiness, happiness, it doesn't matter. My mom, my dad went through this. They had to do that. My grandpa, my grandma. I hear that all the time. And it is, some of us might not be aware, but it is a generational habit.
I think so much of that when we think about it, when I'm listening to My Kids Will Never, and you were talking about the mindset of money and then the job. One of the things I can say about my brother that was right underneath me, he found his career. And his career, he was passionate about. Very, very passionate about. So in that career, he was one of the wealthier siblings because he was able to build on, and he had the knowledge to invest, and he had the knowledge to put aside certain things. So he broke our generational curse because in ours, we never learned how to save money. If you saved it, somebody always borrowed it, which everybody was doing the best they could do. It
Right.
wasn't a matter of, there's no judgment, but I noticed that with my grandson. You know, if he's got $20 and I don't feel like going to the bank, let me grab that $20. So it perpetuates itself in our lifetime where I'm looking at myself and I have to teach him to save. The interesting thing for him right now is, I told you guys I got that little plastic bank that you have to break with a hammer, and the rule is we cannot break it until it's full and you can't put anything else into it. So he'll come frequently because he has to share half of his allowance with the bank and the other half he can spend. So he comes in to remind me that I'm not making the right choices with my money. So that, I'm saying that to say that's a good thing, because he's already breaking that cycle without me having to say, you got to break this cycle, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's becoming embedded in him. One other thing that we were talking about is, frequently we've had the opportunity to go on different trips with him, and I realized I don't have to give him everything on that trip. He's gonna want something tomorrow that, oh my gosh, I've always wanted it. That's his famous last words. You know what? You don't understand, Gabby, how long I've wanted that. So
it's called persuasion.
it's so much in that generational mentality, that generational habit. It's just so much that can be attributed to that, and we have to learn how to break it apart and start attacking each section.
I believe, well, I have a grandson, I have 5 actually, and my generational habit is telling my daughters, oh, put Vicks on the babies, or put, give them teas, and they're gonna complain with me and say, well, no mom, it doesn't work that way. That's why we have now new technology with medication, vaporews and stuff like that. But with me breaking the habit of telling them, give them little soups, give him little this, give him little that, or don't let the baby fall, or just keep an eye on the baby. He has to grow and fall, because that's how he's gonna learn not to go there. So my situation with my daughters is that I guess I'm too, since I'm a grandma, I'm too persistent, like, oh, don't let him touch this, don't let him touch that, he's gonna fall. And my daughters tell me, no mom, he has to grow, he has to learn, he has to touch, which is, it's hard for me, but I gotta let go and trust them on their decision, because they're the parents now. I'm not, I'm just a Grammy.
I love that. I do love that. That's
Thank you
growth.
for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
You know, going back on generational wealth, and you brought that up, Carla, about Matez breaking the habit. You know, but I do want to go back as your brother. I think that from what we have read and from what we have learned, I know that, you know, your brother probably was the happiest of all of you, because he was doing something he liked, something he enjoyed, something he loved. And I think with our books, that's what they're trying to tell us. You know, money is very, very important. Very important. It's not God, but it is something that it's not easy to live without if we want our needs. The one thing I have learned is that work is the worst thing you can do to make money. There's a different way of saying it. It's, if you like what you do, if you do what you like, you're earning, not working. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what I wanted to say, that many generations ago, our parents had to work regardless of to bring food to our table. And because our families were a lot bigger than they are today, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. The word here was not work, it was survival. And so in order to survive, we needed to go out there, and whoever hired us, we were going to do whatever it took to do it. Unlike now. Now we have the choice to say, you know what, I like this. I like to do this. I like to do that. I would like to create some form of job, some form of business, and I'm going to earn my money. And you know what? We earn it faster. faster.
Yes.
And yes,
Yes.
Juanita, you're right about your grandchildren and about habits. I think that's exactly what we're talking about. We have habits that come from behind,
us, yes.
and we just need to understand that there's change in this time, and we just need to roll with the punches. And
I thought about my daughter when she was younger. My sister took her to Disneyland, and she wanted 2 souvenirs or 3 souvenirs, and my sister said, "No, I'm not. You don't need that." And I can't remember if she called my aunt or some kind of way my aunt. I don't know if my sister bought them or not. I can't remember that part of the story. But what I do remember as when Mateus went to Disneyland, he asked his mom for 2 or 3 things, and she said, "No, you're only getting 1." This is the same daughter who cried because she didn't get her 2 or
hers
3.
So she learned a lesson.
So some of it you learn as you go. But life changes. We're constantly growing. We're constantly becoming stronger and more capable and more persistent. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about our channel and our time together.
Yes.
Is that we get to share and grow with each other. And I think that's what we want to share with our audience, is that prospect of growth and how important it is.
Yes. You know, and to end this, if that's okay with you guys, let's not forget that the one thing our parents, our grandparents, and even us, when we sit at a table, what's the one thing we want everyone to do? Finish all the food on that plate, because if you put it on that plate, it's because you plan to eat it. And you know, sometimes we just don't think.
How many times have we said, look at all the people in Africa starving? And one of the things I remember, one sibling told my mother, well, they'll still be starving whether I eat it or not.
And you know what? That brings me to a situation that I went out to eat with my sons over there in Georgia. And the first thing my son said, "Mom, you don't have to eat your full plate of food. You don't want to. You can leave some. It's not like when we were growing up. We said, eat everything." And I just looked at him and I'm like, "Why would you tell me that?" He's like, "Well, I just want you to know." So.
And I love the way they remember it. They remember, even though, whatever reason, they remember it. Okay.
Yes.